This Mini Cooper sat right next to me, cost me £250. In the past month, it's had 3 MOTs and it's made it to 0 of them. Yeah, pieces. Any last words, mate?
And all these hoes laughing like something funny. Catch me outside, how about that?
Thank you. Now, bruv, I ain't got a Scooby-Doo PhD or nothing, but evidence is very clear to why it didn't make it to its 3 MOTs. Look at the driveway. Now, if you're like me and you can't be asked to go back and watch the series, don't blame you. Won the OtherStuff video and you're catching autism, mate. Here's a quick little 10-second recap. Bought a non-running car off a subscriber, changed the throw-up bearing and the clutch. On its first drive, it leaked coolant everywhere. So then we replaced the head gasket, and now we're here for our next MOT, and hopefully our final one for the year. Done, mate. Now, even getting to the MOT centre is going to be an absolutely interesting challenge. The MOT centre I've booked is actually 20 miles away from my house, and this car has not drove more than 600 yards without overheating or leaking coolant everywhere. But yeah, guys, today's the day. Today is the day. 4 weeks of work. I've aged on my back 10 years. I've got coolant in places I didn't think coolant could reach. Guys, if this car passes today, we ain't gonna have enough seats for XX, mate. The female chromosome, you get me, mush? Literally, they're gonna have to be stacked up in the back like bonbons, mate. Is today going to be enough to get this car passed through an MOT? Massive, massive thank you for you lot for supporting the series. Let's go see if all the work we've done to the car and all your guys' help has been enough to get this through its MOT. Great start. Needs to be jump started. Luckily, I actually brought one with me. Now pay attention to this bit of the video because it does actually affect the MOT later on in the video. Whoa! We're driving! I'm scared. I am terrified. I'm constantly looking at that rear view mirror for coolant. I'm absolutely terrified. My heart is going pitter-patter. Pitter-patter!
Heart's going pitter-patter, pitter-patter. I feel sick, like I could throw up.
Driving a Mini! Yeah! You dirty girl! You filthy girl! So it was time to fill up the Mini Cooper for the first time. It's fair to say I got a bit excited.
Let Huck do it, spit on that thing.
It's fair to say, this was a very special moment for me. 4 weeks of work, guys. Endless headaches. So much money down the drain on parts. But it was all worth it for the time being. Yeah, guys, I'm absolutely terrified. See you guys at the MOT centre if we make it. Hopefully it starts, because I did have trouble starting up this morning. But yeah, at Quick Fit in Stratford-upon-Avon. So of course I walked in just like usual, said, they rolled out the red carpet, took my keys and said, have a good day, sir. Right, car all dropped off. Let's see the Mini one last time. And there my little princess was next to her boyfriend. I told her no boys, mate. You know what, the worst thing is gonna be if they call me and they say we can't even start the car. Why did it have to not start this morning? But yeah, honestly, I do really care about this Mini Cooper. I really care about it. So if it doesn't pass, it's gonna impact me emotionally. I'm gonna be sad, mate. Now, to my disbelief, as I was ordering a McDonald's, you know, getting the chicken nuggets, the fries, the new Oreo frappe, you know what I mean? It was 10 out of 10. I actually got a call from Quick Fit, not even 15 minutes after I dropped it off. I just got a call from Quick Fit, and they said they couldn't start the car. So, they couldn't actually do the MOT right now. I told them there's a jump start in the back if they want to use it. The Legends are going to try, I think. But if not, they're going to do it at 4:30, so I've got like 2 hours to kill here. That's the 4th MOT this car has not made it to. So yeah, I missed my 2:15 appointment because the car wouldn't start. So they put me in a 4:30 appointment. So I have 2 hours to kill. And long story short, I actually came back to Quick Fit and they actually told me that they had to push start the Mini Cooper. It's not even a joke. Call them up and ask them. They had to push start this Mini Cooper to get it to start. But it was actually mad because in the waiting room, I could actually see them doing the MOT test. And pretty much within half an hour, I had the car all back in my possession. Thank you.
Oh my God. This fucking Mini, man. What are you doing? You're embarrassing me.
So alright then guys, here is actually the Mini Cooper somewhere other than my driveway. For once, for the first time in a video, we're actually on a road, mate. Well, yeah, no, it is a road. What did that just turn on for? What? I didn't even touch anything. To any of you guys who said that this car's gonna pass the MOT, well, you're actually wrong, mate. Mate, it failed. Teresa failed, mate. No, it's not even a joke, guys. She actually failed. It has not passed its MOT. I got 2 repair immediately, so major defects. So one of the failures is actually one of these headlights. Main beam isn't working. It could either be this one. Oh my God, that's a strong headlight. Or this one. Oh my blood clot. Jesus Christ, put these on some military tanks, mate, because that just didn't even smash. Pretty much the second thing and the main thing is actually near side front suspension arm pin or bush excessively worn. Don't know what that actually is. Advisories, we've got fuel cap slightly defective. Don't even know how that's possible. And then we've got the offside. We've got a tyre worn and an oil leak, but not excessive. So we've actually got a bit of an overkill solution for these headlights, so we're actually removing them right now. 3 bolts later, they just slide out like this. My eyes! Looks pretty ugly, right? Now what's crazier is the car that you're currently driving around in right now could have been in an uglier state than this. It could have been in this state, or this state. This is a perfect representation of what you're like shopping in the used car market without Car Vertical. You're going in blind. And by using Car Vertical, you can go from this to this. Woo! You've gone from being blind in the used car market to seeing an 8K, mate. Car Vertical is actually a used car history checker that will give you the vision into a car's history. When I actually bought this Mini Cooper, the report came out all clean. And here it actually is. Pretty much you can see on mileage, it is all looking good. It's got every single mileage record dating back to 2005 all the way up to today. There's no dips in it to represent a mileage rollback or anything, so that's all good. Under damage, which is the most scary part, it all looks all good with no damage recorded. However, if you guys have noticed, there is actually problems with the financial and legal status of this car. And if we actually click it, because it's failed its most recent MOT, it's actually telling us that it has actually failed. And it tells us exactly what it has failed on and the advisories, which is crazy. No outstanding finance or any legal issues, so that's all good. Here is actually a bad report of a Mini that has been crash damaged and written off as a category B. Car Vertical even shows you pictures of the damage to show exactly what went wrong. And although you might be stood in front of a perfect car, right now, it could have actually just been repaired and could have once looked like this. Sellers do not care about you, they simply want your money. So if you guys are shopping in the used car market, make sure to click the link in the description and use discount code TOS for 20% off your reports, guys. Right, so they are the all-new headlights aftermarket from a company called 2X. But we will go into these headlights when the car is back on the ground. I think I've found the culprit for the MOT failure. So as you can see here, the wheel is really loose when I actually tug on it. It should be a lot more stiff than this, so there's one of the bushings in the suspension that needs replacing. And luckily for me, it's only a 2-bolt job to replace, and around 20 quid. So if we actually come underneath here and put my flashlight on, that right there is the lower bushing, and that's what the guy told me had gone. Super luckily for me, just 2 bolts, and it just comes right out.
A few moments later.
Holy mother of Mary!
Oh!
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Yeah, going under the car just like usual. There's 2 bolts on top of the lower bushing. One is easily accessible and the other one is not accessible. And also bear in mind these bolts are torqued up to 160 newton meters. So no room for any leverage, and there's also a 3rd bolt right here which is super easily accessible.
I'm going insane, mate. I'm going insane. You're telling me I have to drop a subframe for 1 bushing? Oh, mama. Bruv, just push me up my mum's womb again because I don't like life no more.
To get started with dropping this subframe, we actually had to start by undoing the bracket holding the power steering on so that drops down with the subframe. We had to remove the tie rod. Up next, we had to remove the steering rack, and honestly, as much as this Mini is a dickhead, it's making me touch parts I've never touched on a car, like the steering rack and the tie rod. So yeah, in the moment, I want to bang my head off the flipping garage door. But at the same time, I'm learning more than I ever have on a car.
Holy mother of Mary! Oh! Oh! Oh no. Wow! You know what? I'm so proud of myself. I don't know if I put it on camera a lot, but this was a really, really scary job. I have to disconnect steering columns.
That bolt was pretty much covered, and obviously it still needs to come out, and you need to pull it out and then reinstall it. But yeah, this is the bushing, I believe at least, that needs to be replaced to pass its MOT. We're also going to be replacing this bushing as well while it's out the car. Yeah, that's pretty savage that I took out that. Driveway mechanic, driveway queen, mate. Driveway queen. Brother, someone get me a tiara and some high heels, mate. Now, before getting into any work, it literally looks like somebody sharted in their underwear. That's what the subframe looks like. There is grease everywhere. So I'm going to give it a quick clean before I touch anything.
Gonna be cleaning these with my detailer brushes. Available on my website, riceboys.com.
So if you guys are interested, they will be linked in the description below. And use discount code MINI for 10% off your order.
And what would you know? Also available on the Rice Boy store.
So now that the subframe is a little bit cleaner and nicer to work on, we've actually got 2 more bolts and the bushing holding the lower bushing on. And for the lower ball joint, we've just got 1 ball joint and 2 bolts on the top to remove. Easier said than done. These bolts were T-I-G-H-T, mate. Tight. I used WD-40 and flames and an absolute machine of an impact gun to get these bolts loose, and they were not coming loose. So imagine doing this cramped up in that engine bay. Now, of course, just like always, boys, we're using some Asian persuasion. A couple minutes later, it came free. Now, this is how bad the bushings were. I could twist this and break the rubber inside the bushing housing and just pull it off. To get the leftover rubber off as well, quite simply, I just burnt the living crap out of it and yanked it off. Made the job so much easier. Next up were these 2 bolts for this lower ball joint, and then the lower control arm could come free. Now, getting these lower ball joints out was a ball ache. Emphasis on the B, mate. I let it soak in WD-40 overnight. Absolutely heated it to kingdom come. Used a specialist tool to remove it, but still nothing. And this was one of the times I had to wave the white flag and actually get a proper professional to actually get these ball joints out. And that's why I came down to Dino's garage in Banbury to get these ball joints out. And he actually smacked the living shit out of one, and the other one took a lot more time. He said it's one of the most seized ones he's ever seen. And not long after, we were back on our way, boys. After getting home, I actually installed the 2 bushings. Now, here is actually where I made the biggest, most expensive mistake I've ever made on a car. I need to see L in the comments for this one. I've installed this bushing upside down. It's actually upside down. This piece right here should be the other way. So it should be 180 degrees that way, but I've installed it completely wrong. Completely wrong. So all of that money, all of that time, for no reason.
I give up working on cars. How did I install both parts the wrong way? I got double chin.
So a solid day's work out the window from a silly mistake. I quite simply burned the new bushings out off the lower control arm, because once these went on, they did not want to come off. Got them off and then bought some new ones to install. Right, so here's my little homemade contraption for getting bushings on. Bang that on there. Bang that on there.
bang that on. Yes! It's in, bad boy!
The next step is to remove the new bushing and control arm out of this contraption. And then now we can get it all bolted back up. Right, so these bolts actually get torqued up to 160 newton meters. That's a reason why the subframe really does need to come out in order to actually get these bolts off. Oh mate, these facial expressions are gonna be on the internet forever. Oh mate, clicked. My back. Mate, my back. Row the boat gently down the stream. This Mini Cooper's going into new ownership once it's done with me. If you're a mechanic, I feel. Oh, click. Oh, there you go. So we've got the lower ball joints on now, both sides. That one's got the headlight sensor on. Lower bushings on, both sides. Yeah, pretty much it's as good as it came off now. Yeah, it's fair to say that this £250 car profits long gone. So it was now the home stretch. Quite simply, we're pushing the subframe under the car, raising it up like Simba from The Lion King, and slowly but surely putting all the many bolts back into what I could only assume is the right locations. The two lower bushings have been changed now. The biggest ball ache of a job I've ever seen. If you actually think about it, that lower bushing could write your car off. The guy quoted me £500 labour at Quick Fit for that job. All of the repairs combined on this car, the clutch, the lower bushings, it would have been right off. But yeah, now that those two lower bushings are changed, well, hopefully we can actually get this passed through its MOT. It should pass its MOT now for good, and we should be able to get this car back on the road for that last little bit of summer. Let's get these two wheels back on and get the car lowered back on the ground. Cooper is back on the ground for the last bit of summer. The sun is coming through the windows. The last bit of this hot girl summer is a go, mate. Before we actually start the car, we're attaching my brand new Ricer Boys lanyards to the keys. If you guys always lose your keys, it's a perfect way of never losing them again. Add that length, that girth, mate. And the thing is, you might say, well, of course it's gonna start. It didn't start before, and the fact is, I've actually disconnected the power steering, so if I haven't plugged that in correctly, well then we don't have power steering. Let's start the car, if it actually wants to start. It doesn't actually want to start right now. I completely forgot. No. Maybe it's just got not enough battery, hold on. Yes! Yes! I think it just didn't have any battery in it whatsoever. If you guys want to help support the channel, get your Ricer Boys lanyards in the description right now. Come on! Once again guys, oh my goodness. We have been on this road 700 times after I've got it back on the road. Literally, it's every other week now. I'm screaming in the flipping Mini going, yes, we got it back on the road. Hot girl summer, open that bad boy up! Now, as much as this car has been the biggest pain in my ass, it's taught me so much, guys. I've never ever touched a head gasket before this car. I've never touched subframes before touching this car. This car, as much as it's put me through misery and my bank account through the dirt, we might have finally done it. And like, I've come out the other side, more knowledge and more
experience than I've ever had, mate. Come on! Pretty much, it's just MOT time now.
But unfortunately, we have run out of time for today's video. For some reason, there's a shortage of MOTs, so I can't get one till next week. But till then, I want to say a massive thank you for your ongoing support with this Mini Cooper. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to see if it passes the retest. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, see love faces in my next video.